Welcome to the Balance Hormone Solution podcast. If you're a woman, 35 plus, feeling exhausted, struggling to lose weight, and wondering where your libido went, this is for you. I am Tracy Aaron, a functional medicine practitioner who helps women balance their hormones naturally without prescriptions, guesswork, or trendy nonsense. Because here's the truth. Your symptoms aren't random. They're signals. And if you know how to listen, you can fix the root cause and start feeling like yourself again. If you're ready for real solutions, let's get to it. Hey friend, welcome back to the Balanced Hormone Solution podcast. I'm your host, Tracy Aaron, and today we're calling out one of the most frustrating symptoms that women face in their 30s, 40s, and beyond. And that is being exhausted even after a full night of sleep. So let me ask you, have you ever had this thought? I slept 8 hours, I didn't even wake up once, but I still feel like I got hit by a truck. You're dragging, you get out of bed, you feel foggy, you're unmotivated, and what's worse, you kind of feel guilty for being tired because you've got a lot on your plate. And you know that you did sleep. You're not staying up, binge watching Netflix till 2 a.m. You're not scrolling on your phone because you know better than that. You're not partying. Those days are far behind you. You're not, eating super late at night and snacking on ice cream in bed. You're doing all the right things, and it still doesn't seem to be enough. So if this sounds familiar, I just want you to know you're not alone, and you most definitely are not crazy. So I want to start by breaking the myth of just sleep more. How about just get some more hours, go to bed earlier, right? Well, here's the deal. If you're trying to fix exhaustion with more sleep and it's not working, that's a clue right there. Because for most women who are suffering from some kind of hormone dysfunction, the problem isn't just the sleep quantity, it's the sleep quality and what's happening inside your body while you do sleep, however many hours that is. So your body does this critical repair work overnight. What is it doing? Well, it resets cortisol and melatonin every single day. That diurnal rhythm resets every single morning, every single night, with the sunrise, with the sunset. Sleep also balances our blood sugar. It helps us to process insulin, the spikes that we had during the day. We level out, hopefully, if we have a proper working metabolism at night. It also helps to detoxify estrogen and other hormones. When we think about this, when you make a hormone and then you use a hormone, guess what happens next? You have to get rid of a hormone. And if we're not sleeping properly, we're not getting rid of our hormones properly, which means they're probably recirculating. And when hormones recirculate, there is collateral damage. Sleep also heals tissues, right? You notice that. A good night's sleep sometimes will just take away that headache that you had, or if you felt a certain ache or a pain in a part of your body and you got a good night's sleep, it might feel better the next day. And that's because it helps to regulate inflammation in the body. And one of my very favorite things about sleep is it helps us process emotions. If you suffer from PMS, if you're dealing with a whole bunch of mood swings before your period comes on, sometimes just going to bed and getting a good night rest will be all you need to wake up refreshed the next morning, because our brain works overtime even when we're sleeping, and it helps to process all of those emotions that we've had during the day. But that's in a body that's working. So what do we do when our hormones are out of whack? And that list of repairs that I just mentioned, that doesn't happen. Well, you may be unconscious, but think about it like this. Your body is always running a marathon behind the scenes. So this is what I like to say. Just because you're asleep doesn't mean that your body is actually resting. So think about it like that. Just because you're asleep and you don't feel anything doesn't mean that you are actually repairing and regenerating your body in the ways that I just mentioned before. So what's really going on here? I want to talk about 4 hidden reasons why you wake up tired. So let's get into those real reasons, right? That the energy is in the gutter, because I promise there is always a why. And once you know it, you can fix it. And that is a beautiful thing about our bodies and our minds too. So let's get into this. Number 1, Your cortisol rhythm is backwards. What does this look like? Well, you should wake up with a little spike of cortisol. It's like a dose of nature's caffeine first thing in the morning. But when you're stressed, you're burned out, you're running on that survival mode, that rhythm gets totally flipped. So what happens is you're wired at night and you flatline in the morning. And this is not just being a night owl. This is true hormone imbalance. I see this all the time on a Dutch test. Either the cortisol just never really spikes or it spikes at night and it will tank in the morning. So no wonder you feel dead inside when your alarm goes off. It's plain as day on paper when I see this on the Dutch test. So number 2, how about you could be in estrogen dominance and low on progesterone? So the hormone that nobody's really talking about is that progesterone. But she is that calming, grounding, restorative hormone. She helps you sleep deeply, feel emotionally stable, give you a great mood in the morning. But imagine what happens when she's low. And when estrogen, the saucy hormone, is running the show, you're going to get sleep, but it's going to most likely be a type of anxious sleep. So restless sleep. You might toss and turn, you clench your jaw, you wake up in a fight or flight, even though nothing's wrong. And listen, people blame it on their dreams all the time, but let's stop and consider whether or not we are making enough and metabolizing enough progesterone. So estrogen dominance doesn't always just show up as heavy periods as we probably most typically think of it as. It can also show up as this poor sleep or those mood swings. And yes, that chronic exhaustion over time, not enough progesterone will put us in this state. So number 3, your liver could be overwhelmed. So if your liver's backed up, your body's working overtime to clear out excess hormones, toxins, alcohol, sugar, even stress byproducts. Now, this is not something that you feel immediately, right? I run a functional medicine liver detox 4 times a year. And oftentimes people will do this regularly and they'll be like, well, I feel better, but I can't quite put my finger on it. And, they aren't, waking up a totally different person maybe on day 8. Now, some people absolutely notice a difference right away. It sort of depends on their starting point, right? But there are many women who the feeling of solid sleep, less inflammation, better metabolism takes some time to actualize in the body. So when we clean out the liver, you might not wake up like, wow, I feel amazing. But just know that the impact deep down on a cellular level, that's where it's happening. And that impact is big. So what happens is instead of your liver helping your body reset overnight, think of it like it's stuck in traffic or it's stuck in a slow drain. It's not moving very quickly. We call that sluggish. So a quarterly functional medicine detox gives your liver detox gives your liver all the nutrients it needs to turn all of these toxins, which are stored in your fat cells, into water soluble so that we can eliminate them. That's a basic explanation of what it is doing. And that's why it's so important to stay on top of liver health. Gut health too. But right now I'm just talking about liver health because it gets backed up and we have restless, sleepless nights. Whoever thought our liver was tied to sleep, but this is what I'm saying. It absolutely is. So this is why you can wake up feeling like inflamed and heavy and overworked, even though you were in bed all night long. So many of my clients, they might say like, oh, I just feel like junk in the morning. Even if they didn't do anything wrong the day before, we always look to the liver for that. Perimenopause got you feeling like a hormonal hostage. Your period's unpredictable, your sleep's trash, your mood's a minefield, and no one prepared you for this. Enter the Balanced Hormone Solution, my 90-day program for women 35 plus who are done guessing and ready to feel like themselves again. Because we test, not guess. We detox, rebalance, and get your hormones and your life back in check. Because you're not broken, you're just burned out. So let's fix that. Head to TracyAaronWellness.com and let's get started. And number 4, what about subclinical thyroid sluggishness? The liver is not the only thing that gets sluggish in our body. A lot of our organs get bogged down because of the level of toxicity that we have in our environments, right? I always say air, food, and water, these are the things that we need to tackle. So when we're talking about the thyroid, so many women come to me and say, oh, my doctor said my thyroid was normal. Well, most doctors don't run a full, complete panel. So I'd really like to see what you have, if that is what your impression is. And if you don't have a complete panel, be happy to order that for you so we can do a true evaluation. But even if you have a complete panel, you have all the factors run, and your numbers are quote unquote normal, your thyroid still could be running low and slow. And that's mostly because our organs in our body are very resilient. It takes quite a bit of time for them to really go from dysfunction to disease. That can be a process that can take years for most people. Thank God, right? Because our bodies are designed to regenerate. They don't break at first glance. But time after time after time, same situation, more inflammation, more toxins, more stress, right? More overwork. All of that just puts us in a state of being at a disadvantage, and we start to not recover as fast as we once did. And this happens all the time in perimenopause. We find that everything we were doing before is not working for us now. So back to the thyroid. So the thyroid is like the boss of metabolism, right? And our energy production and our ability to stay warm and focused and that like alive feeling. So let's go to opposite of that. If you find yourself feeling tired or cold, maybe gaining weight, needing multiple cups of caffeine in the day to function, might not be right. It could be your thyroid is asking for help. These are real valid reasons why you might be sleeping 7 hours a night but still wake up feeling like junk. So what do we do about it? Now, here's the part that I love, because I love to help my clients understand that you are not stuck. No matter where you are, you always have a choice. No matter what you're facing, you can always do something. You can be better tomorrow than you are today. And that is the whole point of health being a journey. It's not about perfection. It's about progress over time. And those are the things that make the biggest impact in our health anyway. But here's some things that you can start doing now that will shift your energy almost immediately. Number one, track your energy. So this might seem really basic, but I'm serious. Start noticing when your crashes happen. Don't just assume they're in the afternoon, because they're in the afternoon for most people, but is it like a morning fog? Do you wake up and it takes a while to get going? Is it an afternoon slump? Do you feel like wired at night? You get in bed, you're all sleepy, everything's right, turn out the light, head on the pillow, and then you toss and turn and your brain can't turn off? That tells me a lot about your cortisol rhythm if you experience any of those things I just mentioned. Another thing you can do is to support your adrenals, right? Like we say that all the time, but what does that actually mean? Magnesium glycinate before bed. This is my magic recipe for a good night's sleep, is 2 capsules, 2 to 3 capsules, really 4 if you're desperate, magnesium glycinate before bed. Get a big bottle in full script, keep it on your nightstand every single night without fail. Magnesium will change your life, especially as you move through perimenopause, because you don't just need it for sleep. You need it for most of the enzymatic processes in the body. But here's another way we can support our adrenals. B vitamins. B vitamins is the energy vitamin. So most women, especially women that I run into, they're low on energy. They need more energy. And most women are low in B vitamins. Listen, we didn't grow up, especially those of us who are in perimenopause right now, we didn't grow up with the idea that meat was good for us. We didn't eat a lot of meat. And then we went to college, couldn't afford a lot of meat. And then we had babies and were married, had babies, started families, and maybe like me lived on one income and homeschooled my kids. And we couldn't have steak every single night or even ground beef, right? So there was many, many years of our lives where we were just like under the impression that a lot of meat was not what was best for our diet. And now, thankfully, the tables are turning. But we find ourselves in a disadvantage when it comes to B vitamins. We often just don't have enough. So everyone could use a B complex first thing in the morning. Now, I will say there is a way to optimize this. Like if you've had genetic testing, I could help you understand which type of B vitamin is best for you. Not everybody needs methylated B vitamins. Some people need a hydroxylate form. Like it just really depends, but you would do really well just to do a generic B complex and avoid the folic acid. You could use folinic acid or a methylated form of folic acid in particular, but helping your adrenals with B vitamins would be amazing. If you just want to do the food route, gosh, a steak a day, right? Put your bee pollen in your smoothie in the morning and on your salad every single day. But B vitamins really are the star of the show, and things like red meat. So also things like adaptogens, right? Rhodiola, very energizing. Ashwagandha, it just sort of relaxes us. Talk to your health practitioner. If I'm your health practitioner, mention this. Let's get dialed in, because some of these adaptogens are going to make you more energized and some are going to calm you down. And I want to make sure that you're on that right one. So talk to your health practitioner about which one is good for you. And here's an obvious piece of advice, right? Just cut the 3 p.m. sugar and caffeine hits. For me personally, I have a 2 p.m. rule. Nothing sweet except for dark chocolate after 2 p.m. and no caffeine after 2 p.m. That's not just coffee. That's green tea. That's black tea. Anything that could be stimulating like that. There's certain supplements that have caffeine in. I make sure I don't take that after 2 p.m. So another one, let's go with number 3. Just say no to the evening wine or the nightcap combo, okay? I know. I'm really not trying to ruin your fun, but if you're having a bunch of sugar late at night or wine late at night, your blood sugar, your cortisol, they're going to tango all night long, and you're going to wake up feeling wrecked. And it's not worth it, friend. I could promise you, if you have an Oura ring or you have some type of heart rate variability tracking tool and you drink a glass of wine, your sleep the next morning will register as not as solid, far more lower quality than the night that you didn't have any alcohol. It's just a fact. There's no talking us out of it. Alcohol truly is a poison. Does that mean we should never drink it? No, but when we drink it, we're basically trading a good night's sleep. And as long as we're aware of that and we don't abuse it, I think we can be smart about it. And there are some supplements that we can do if we insist on drinking alcohol at night, like we're celebrating with someone or something, or in a foreign country or something. There is quite a bit we can do to mitigate the effects of the toxins in our liver. So we can definitely chat about that another time. That would be a good podcast to do, actually. How do we actually drink wine and stay healthy at the same time? And I'm not saying to justify it, but for those occasions where we do have a glass of wine or a cocktail every once in a while, I'm all about moderation. I'm never going to tell you never, never, never. I want to know how we can still be as healthy as we can be, but still live our lives, right? And number 4, this might be obvious to you at this point, is to get a Dutch test. If you want to see what your hormones and the stress response in your body is doing behind the scenes, you have to get tested. There's just no way around that. Just don't guess anymore. And this is exactly why I include functional testing, particularly the Dutch test, in my program. And that's so you can stop playing whack-a-mole with your symptoms and actually heal, because you're not guessing anymore. So listen, if you're doing all the right things, you're still waking up tired, it's not your fault. I want you to know that. You're not weak. This isn't a complex, and you certainly are not failing. There's no shame in this game. Your body is just asking for support, not judgment. So it's time to get curious. Time to start evaluating what we actually are doing on a day-to-night basis. But here's the good news. And I want everybody to know this, is that you can feel like yourself again. You can wake up with real energy, clarity. It just takes the right roadmap. And honestly, I'm going to tell you, DIYing it is the longest way to get to where you want to be. So you can do that if you want, but if you just get a proven roadmap, you can get there actually so much quicker. You can feel better faster if you follow a proven roadmap like I have in the Balanced Hormone Solution. So if this episode, if the whole concept of sleep and sleeping all night long but still waking up tired, if it hit home, if you're ready to get your energy back, you're tired of being tired, I want you to go to the link in the show notes and grab my free guide. It's called The 7 Hidden Reasons You're Still Tired After Sleeping. It's 2 pages. I want you to read through it. There's lots of golden nuggets in there, including specific supplements. I want you to get that into your hands and start putting those into your practice. Because listen, if you're not sleeping, you're not functioning. It takes its toll like nothing else. So you don't have to guess anymore. You do not have to guess anymore. We can figure this out together. So thanks for listening today. If this helped you, share it with a friend. I would love for you to leave a review. Tag me on Instagram. I just love hearing from you. So until next time, protect your peace, support your hormones, and don't you dare settle for feeling just fine. That's it for today's episode of the Balanced Hormone Solution podcast. If this resonated, don't just listen, do something about it. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you know another woman who's tired of feeling like a stranger in her own body, send her this way. For more support, check out the show notes. I've got resources to help you get started. Just remember, your body isn't broken. You just need the right tools. See you next time.